There is a kind of worry that used to need an occasion. A deadline, a strange tone in someone's voice, a decision with real stakes. It waited to be summoned. Then, at some point you cannot name, it stopped waiting. Now you lie down at night, and the rehearsal starts itself. Tomorrow's meeting begins playing before you have chosen to think about it. The disaster forecast arrives fully formatted, faster than it did last year, faster than it did last month. And the natural conclusion is that something is breaking, that your mind is deteriorating, that the worry is getting stronger on its own, that you're losing ground. 4th century Buddhist philosophers looked at this same pattern and reached the opposite conclusion. Nothing is breaking. Something is being trained. The worry arrives faster for the same reason a golf swing gets smoother and a language gets easier. Repetition. You have been running this thought for years, several laps a night, and the mind, like everything else that learns, got good at it. This is the last episode of the diagnosis. Episode 2 showed that the replay loop is not a malfunction. It is maintenance, a self-checking that it still exists. Episode 3 showed that what the loop replays is not a recording but a rendering, rebuilt each time with the seams painted over. Tonight is the time dimension, why the loop gets easier, faster, and more automatic, why every lap deepens the groove. And what precisely does not. The Yogācāra school had a mechanical claim about this, and it is worth taking slowly. Every mental act, every thought completed, every image entertained, every scenario rehearsed, deposits something. Call it a seed. The seed sinks into a deep layer of mind, below the one you experience, and it waits. When conditions ripen, fatigue, darkness, a Sunday evening, a particular kind of silence, the seed sprouts as the same kind of thought it came from. And here is the mechanical part. It sprouts with less resistance than the thought that planted it. Each generation arises more readily than the last. Repetition is not neutral. There is no such thing as thinking a thought once, cleanly, without residue. Every lap of a replay is a deposit. Every rehearsal of a disaster is a rep. The mind is not a stage where thoughts perform and exit. It is a field, and everything performed on it gets planted in it. Which means the sentence this channel was built around, and which I can now say at full strength. You are not worrying. You are practicing worry. The 3 a.m. catastrophe drill is a training session. The relitigated conversation from years ago is a training session. You are not being attacked by your worry. You are coaching it daily, with total dedication and no awareness that practice is what this is. The classical term for the seed is bīja, and the deep layer it sinks into is the alaya vijnana, the storehouse consciousness, the one this channel is named after. Roughly, a warehouse beneath awareness, where every mental act leaves inventory. We will walk through that warehouse properly next episode. Tonight, what matters is the restocking. At this point, an intelligent person draws the obvious conclusion. If repetition plants seeds, stop repeating. Refuse the thought. Push it out when it arrives. Guard the door. You have tried this. You know how it went. Try tonight not to think about tomorrow's presentation. Notice what the instruction requires. To not think about the presentation, some part of your mind has to hold the presentation, has to keep checking. Is it here? Is it gone? Is it coming back? The guard at the door has to hold a photograph of the intruder. Suppression is not the absence of the thought. It is another engagement with the thought, another lap, another rep. The seed cannot tell the difference between being fought and being fed. Both are attention. Both are water. Modern psychology arrived at the same place independently, through experiments on what is now called thought-suppression rebound. Instruct people not to think about something, and it returns more often, not less. Sometimes more intensely once the effort stops. The resemblance to a 1600-year-old seed model is not subtle. So the war footing fails, and it fails for a structural reason, not a willpower reason. You did not lose those battles because you were weak. You lost them because fighting a thought is a way of thinking it. Every night you spent wrestling the worry down, the worry got a workout. This is worth sitting with, because it removes an entire category of strategy. Force is off the table. Not discouraged, off the table. It waters the seed by design. There is a second classical term, and its literal meaning is almost embarrassingly precise. Vāsanā. It means perfuming. The image the old texts use is cloth stored beside incense. Leave a plain robe in a scented chest long enough, and the robe smells of the chest, not because anything was added deliberately, but because proximity, repeated, is transfer. A mind takes on the scent of what it repeatedly does. This channel promised you no incense. This metaphor is the one exception, and it is 15 centuries old, so the exception stands. Notice what perfuming implies, that planting does not. A seed is discrete, one act, one deposit. Perfuming is cumulative and atmospheric. It is not only that you have stored 10,000 worry seeds, it is that the storage itself now smells of worry, so that new thoughts, neutral thoughts, pick up the scent on their way through. The mind that has practiced catastrophe does not only produce catastrophes on demand, it drifts toward them at rest, the way a trained hand drifts toward its instrument. You have felt this. The email that could be read 3 ways, and your mind reads it the worst way first, automatically, before deliberation begins. Nothing chose that. The cloth smells of the chest. Episode 1 mentioned the modern convergence, and I will only touch it here. Neurons that fire together wire together. Same mechanism, different vocabulary, discovered from the other side. The groove is not a metaphor for anything. The groove is the finding. So force waters the seed, repetition waters the seed, and even neutral drift waters the seed. What does Nataito? One thing as far as this system is concerned, seeing without joining. The move from the first 2 episodes, noticing the thought as an object rather than living inside it as a fact, is not a relaxation technique that got attached to the philosophy. It is the one engagement that does not water the seed it observes. When you see a worry, there it is, the presentation rehearsal arriving on schedule. And you do not argue with it. Do not obey it. Do not push it away. Something specific happens in the seed model. The worry seed gets no lap. And the act of seeing, because it too is a mental act, plants a seed of its own, a different species, a seed that sprouts next time, as seeing, arising a little more readily than it did before, by exactly the same mechanics that made the worry automatic. The system is not rigged against you. It is not rigged at all. It deepens whatever you run. 2 clarifications before the practice. First, this is slow. The groove took years. It does not fill in over a weekend, and anyone who says otherwise is selling something. Second, this is philosophy, not treatment. If your mind has crossed from exhausting into frightening, if the thoughts feel dangerous rather than loud, a real person, a professional, will do more for you than any video, including this one. What this episode offers is a map. The inventory of the storehouse changes not by force, but by what you stop restocking, and by what you restock instead. Here is the practice, and it is smaller than you want it to be. The single seed tally. Choose one recurring thought, not your whole mind. One thought, the one that arrives most reliably. Tomorrow, every time it arises, make one a tally mark, mental or on paper, whichever survives your day. One mark and let the thought pass. Do not argue with it. Do not finish it. Do not push it out. Mark and release. Tomorrow night, look at the count. 7, 19, 40. Whatever the number is, it is information you have never had. The depth of one groove, measured. You are not stopping the thought. You are not supposed to eye it. You are measuring. And notice what happened inside the measurement. Every tally mark was itself a rep, not of the worry, but of seeing it. 40 arrivals, 40 acts of noticing instead of joining. 2 trainings ran through your day, the way they run through every day. The difference is that for the first time, you chose one of them. If you miss a day, nothing is lost. The practice is still there, and so reliably is the thought. Next episode, we go to the place where the seeds wait, the storehouse itself, the Alaya Vijnana, and the monks who mapped an unconscious mind 14 centuries before Freud, in more detail and with fewer cigars. It is the reason this channel has its name. Until then, the assignment is one thought, one mark, one day. You do not have to win anything. Seen is enough.